Hey you all, so I am here with my Tell 'em Tuesday. Yes, I'm still rocking my piece. Please excuse the focusing. Ever since I updated the software to this webcam, the option to disable the autofocus is no longer available. I'm like, oh, nice update, taking away features. So, anywho, Um, it annoys me. So, y'all may not be annoyed by it, but, if you are, please know that I understand because it gets on my nerves, but I no longer have the option to uncheck the autofocus. Um, so anyway, on to the shows. First, I will discuss, I'm going to go in order. I know the game comes on tonight, so my Tell 'em Tuesdays are not going to include the most recent episode of the game because it comes on so late. Like, I'm not going to do a video, and post it that late. I've done it before, but no. So, the game last week, I need for Janae to get over Derwin because clearly she still has this family fantasy in her mind, and she's going to have to understand that he is now married to Melanie, and she can't expect him to take the baby places or be around the baby and Melanie not be around because she's his wife. So she's going to have to get over that. He was wrong for playing both sides, but she has to understand that he made his choice, regarding who he married, and he's with Melanie. So she's going to have to deal with that. Bottom line. Malik is really getting on my nerves. He really is this season. So, anywho, I'm done with that. This past episode was the best episode in my opinion on this new season because I was going to stop watching because I'm not very impressed with how things are going, how they're acting, and it's just, it doesn't have the same fire to it that it did before, in my opinion. So I was getting pretty frustrated, but last week's episode kind of, reeled me back in. So we'll see. Basketball wives. Tammy, I think, has some issues. I really didn't see why she got all up in arms with Evelyn. It really didn't make sense to me. Also, anyone who likes to see a bull get killed in a bullfight, I mean, you gotta kind of wonder. Everybody else was ducking or leaving altogether, and she's like, "Ooh, I want to see it." And it's like, so, Royce. I mean, I understand it was a free trip and everything, but if you're not feeling well, just stay in the hotel. I mean, of course, they should have been more sympathetic to her being sick. Shawnee is kind of getting on my nerves this season. She really is acting bullyish because it's like, okay, the girl is sick. Yeah, you don't want her raining on your parade or whatever, but she's sick. So relax. I would have, in a nice way, been like, Royce, just chill in the hotel room. You're not feeling well. You probably need to rest up instead of pushing your body by continuing to go out and not rest when you're already not feeling well. Just, take your meds and just chill. But, I wouldn't have been stank about it. So, I just think they just like drama. And I also had a problem with her telling Tammy things that other people said. I mean, if you're friends with two people who don't get along, pull them together as a unit. Don't go to one and be like, oh, such and such said this, and then go to other. That's two-faced. So I didn't like that at all. Jen and the dude who was married, I mean, really, like, that should have been one of the first questions she asked. But truly, there shouldn't have been anything discussed because she's still married. So it's like, okay, really? Can you move forward with the divorce before you're trying to, meet up with folks across the country? Okay. Anywho. All right. What Chili wants. Okay. Chili acts like she has this steadfast list and requirements that she wants. Really, it's bogus because I'm sorry, I don't care how adamant someone is about certain things that they want in a mate. Chemistry will trump that. It just will. You can be like, oh, I don't want a man with kids. I don't want a man who does this, man who does that. But if you meet a person and y'all have that chemistry, that stuff's going to fly out the window. You see how she's all up on that model. Now, she gave Raphael the boot because he was riding his motorcycle with an ex, and he was honest with her about it, which is what she said. Honesty, honesty bracelet, honesty. He was honest about it. And it's a problem. But the model admits to threesomes, cheating, and she's like, she's going to work with him. I'm like, what? As against cheating as she is, I mean, like, when Usher stepped out on her, it was like, oh, hell had broke loose. Like, I mean, she was so, like, mad and just saying pretty much cheaters are scum, basically. And I'm not disagreeing with her, but I mean, she seemed to be really passionate about cheating and just feeling like it is just the worst thing that a person can do to their mate. And so for him to tell her that, he did, and she, and then she was like, oh my gosh, and then was like, well, he didn't tell me the truth. Girl, you just really like this dude. And even though, you got red flags, all over the place, it's like, oh, blinders on. And that's just how people do, So, my thing is, you just want somebody you have chemistry with. You might as well toss the list, because when you meet somebody that you have the chemistry with, a lot of that stuff goes by the wayside. And I'm not saying that's wrong, because, I mean, it is hard to, find someone that you have that chemistry with. So, I understand that because of the chemistry, other things are compromised. But don't act like it's all or nothing when you know good and well that if you click, a lot of that stuff kind of goes out the window. So, but the private eye thing, I was like, oh no, she even tweeted about it, and I responded to her tweet. She didn't respond back. I'm sure she gets a lot, but she tweeted about, saying that she doesn't think it's wrong to hire a private investigator, and that she would be completely receptive to her mate trying to do the same thing because she has nothing to hide. And I responded, and I was like, I disagree with hiring a private investigator because of trust. And I put trust in capital letters. And I was like, if you trust someone, that's unnecessary. And I mean, if you feel the need to hire a private investigator for your mate, there's either something wrong with the relationship or there's something wrong with you. And in her case, it's something wrong with her because she's not even in the relationship yet, and she's already talking about hiring a private investigator. There are issues within herself that she needs to resolve before she gets into any relationship. Because if you're not even in a relationship and you're already talking about getting somebody to spy on your partner, there's a problem. And I'm thinking that the issues with her father contribute to it, because clearly he does not follow through with what he says that he's going to do. He's not reliable. And I think that lack of reliability from her father is bleeding into her outlook on relationships. So I really feel that she's not ready. I mean, you got what Chili wants. Now you got what Chili wants too. The thing is, you're going to keep having them if you don't work on yourself, because people try to get into relationships all the time when they don't have themselves together, and they typically don't work, because you need to be a whole person before you invite someone else into your life. And I don't think she's a whole person right now. I think that there are a lot of issues that she has that are making her incomplete. And I think when she becomes complete, she can have a successful relationship. So that's my take on that. But anywho, I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a relationship expert, so take it with a grain of salt. Whatever. Brandy and Ray J. I feel that Brandy needs to stop intervening. I understand that she's such a believer of love and she wants love and she feels that this is the girl for her brother. Evidently, he's not at that point right now. And I think she just needs to step out of it. I do think his girlfriend is extremely needy. And with him being in the industry he's in, I don't think that's a good combination. So, yeah. On to Real Housewives reunion. Okay. Nene, I feel, is not in a good place right now. And it's showing. Phaedra actually, was very well spoken on the show, and I do feel that her side is more believable than Nene regarding them knowing of each other. I mean, you don't have to know someone to know of them. I mean, a small town like Athens, like Phaedra said, they only have 2 high schools or whatever, 3 middle schools, whatever. I mean, typically you're going to know of people when a community is that small. So I do think she knew of her. And then, Nene was like, I don't even remember people from high school, basically saying she doesn't know Phaedra's brother. And then she was like, I don't even remember people from high school. I'm 43. Okay, whatever. Just, Kim, opportunist, with Croy for 9 months, which I don't even believe necessarily that they were even together that long. I think she's kind of trying to fluff it so that it doesn't look as bad, that she's 5 months pregnant and they've been together for 9 months, meaning after 4 months you were like, okay, let's lock this thing down. Basically, like I said, opportunist, because she was with Big Papa all that time and didn't have a baby, but with Croy it was just boom. And I mean, yeah, Big Papa was married, but evidently she didn't give a flying flip. So I mean, if she didn't care that he was married, I don't see why she would have had any hang-ups about having a child for him, because she wanted one. So I don't know. I'm over her. I could really do without her coming back, because she's basically a nobody without somebody else taking care of her. I mean, that's just the bottom line. As far as financially, she relies on other people to take care of her, which I don't respect at all. Candy didn't really speak much. Sheree didn't really speak much. Maybe they'll speak more on part 2. Cynthia, I think she's beautiful. 43, she looks awesome. Her and Peter, though, my question is, because on Watch What Happens Live, I noticed he didn't have a band on. So my thing is, you still didn't buy the bands? And Nene tweeted, she didn't respond to me either, that all of the housewives are in their 40s except for Candy and Kim. And my thing is, okay, if you said that Phaedra didn't enter high school until after you had already graduated, then Phaedra would have to be in her 30s as well. The oldest she could be would be 39. If you're 43, the oldest she could be is 39. So that would mean she's still in her 30s. She didn't respond. So, I'm just like, whatever. Just shade being thrown unnecessarily. It's like, really? Come on. So, I don't know. I'm frustrated. I mean, I know that it's drama. Drama makes reality shows, but sometimes you just have to get to a point where you just release. Don't hold on to all that stuff and just let it go, because it'll fester and it'll eat away at you. It'll make you an ugly person. And Nene, in my opinion, is turning into an ugly person. She's not the Nene that was on the first season. She's becoming a little bitter, in my opinion, which is not attractive. So that's it. Because I've probably gone all kinds of over. So that's it, y'all. I'll see you next time. Peace.